Tired of managing absences in Excel, endless approval emails, and outdated lists? You're not alone, and it doesn't have to be this way. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a modern and efficient absence management app in SharePoint with the right structure, a user-friendly interface, and smart automations. Let's jump in. Okay, let's start to go through the workflow. At first, you want to request your well-deserved holiday. So we implemented a new form which opens in the panel. Let's have a look at the best practice approaches for this new form. At first, there is the possibility to make an automatic calendar entry for your M365 account, which is definitely an advantage for requesting holidays. As soon as you chose a date range, the system checks if there are public holidays and shows them to the user. The total days which are automatically calculated are without the public holidays, but users are requested to double check the days. And here is a hint of how many days are still available this year for the user who wants to request the holiday. Behind it, there is an approval process. So as soon as I submit the form, the boss of the user can approve or decline it. We have here our progress tracker, which I always would recommend to use. This way users see in which state the item is and what's the next step to go. On the home page, users see what the status of their absence request is, so which absences already have been approved through their boss and which need to be approved. So the most important things shown first on the home page to see them at a glance as soon as you open the app. When we built the app, we went for annual files for each year. So in each annual files, all absences of a whole year are stored. So if users want to check for previous years, they have the possibility. Let's have a look at the actual year. What we've implemented here is, again, an overview of all recent absences, which is the most important fact to see. We also summarized the most important figures at a glance so that users see how many days are remaining, how many uncompensated overtime they have, how many sick leave days they have, how many home office days they already had. So these are all the information users really need to see what they are interested in. So I would always recommend to summarize them at a glance. So we aggregated a few of the information which is stored in the sublists. You can see those sublists in the tabs down there. What we also did is we calculate the number of list entries, so users see in which tabs there are entries available. So if there would be a 0 instead of the 1, users know they don't have to look in the tabs because there wouldn't be any list entries in the sublists. Let's have a look, for example, at the additional days. So that are the days which are transferred from the previous year because I didn't use them last year. So they are available for this year. What's also really important for an absence management app is to show who is when available. So we provide a team calendar to see who is on holiday, on home office, or works remotely at the moment. You can also filter those for your specific team. As you can see, Edward Davidson disappears because he is part of the IT team. Only Sarah and Raphael are in the marketing team at the moment. So you see when they are available or when they are working from home remotely or on holiday or whatever. As you can see, I have a lot of buttons on my homepage. That's the case because I am part of the HR department, of the admin group, and also a normal user to show you everything what you need to know about the best practices of an absence management app. Normally user wouldn't see all those buttons, so I would always recommend to only show the buttons which are relevant. So for users, this 3 would be relevant to submit an absence request, submit sick leave, or submit an overtime request to the HR department. This way, they always know where to click, which actions they need to take, and don't get overwhelmed. For the HR department, we designed a separate overview page. On this page, we summarized everything what's important to them. So all the requests which need to be approved, or all the overtime requested which needs to be paid out or compensated. So we again only summarized all the information which is important for the HR department at a glance, so they can't lose the overview if there are a lot of requests to manage. There are also actions which can be done via the list, like approve a request, which can also be done in bulk actions. So you don't always necessarily need to open the display form to take an action. You can also do it from the overview page, which makes the process a lot faster. Another bulk action we provided is the batch closing of annual files. So at the end of a year, all annual files of all employees needs to be closed to open up new ones for the next year. So if you have a lot of employees as an HR manager to manage, then this would take ages. So we implemented a functionality where they only need to click this button and batch close all annual files for which they are responsible for as an HR manager. Something I would always recommend to implement in a SharePoint app is automatic notifications via email. This is, for example, a notification where users get informed that their holiday absence request was approved by their boss. This way, they don't need to have a look at the app every day to keep them up to date, but are informed as soon as something changes which is relevant to them. And the last point I also would recommend to do in every SharePoint app is to create an admin page. On such an admin page, you can place all relevant configuration functionalities. This way, also non-SharePoint experts can be the app admin in a company. In our case, for the absence management app, this is, for example, all the permissions and roles, app configurations. So as this is a standardized, ready-to-use app, which you can buy from Skybow, like you see it, you can configure all the things we've built just in the front end. You don't need to go into the back end, which is easier for end users. You can also maintain all the lists which happen in the background. So for example, all the countries and regions which define how many holidays you have per year, the departments which you can filter in the team calendar, or all the public holidays which are automatically shown in the new form if you want to request a new absence. As you can see, all of our best practice approaches intend to make the workflow as easy and as efficient as possible for all users which are involved in the process. So for admins, for HR managers, and for normal users. I would always recommend to keep these things in mind when you want to build an absence management app in SharePoint. This way you get an app which the users will love. That's how you build an absence management app in SharePoint the right way. A user-friendly, intuitive interface, automated approvals and notifications, and a central place where everyone stays informed. You want to test the app yourself? You can download your 7-day free trial on our website now. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about how to build smart SharePoint solutions.